Oké. I wasn't... Oké. We fixed it. Nogmaals, welkom. Ik blijk niet te horen geweest te zijn. Nu wel. Dus dat is positief. Dan zal ik nog even heel kort, om de boel nog een keer in orde te doen, het programma vertellen. Nieuws van de week. Kort, update Toyota. Dan de introductie van onze special guest. We hebben vandaag een special guest. Daar heb ik net uitgebreid over gehad. Maar dat ga ik niet nog een keer doen. Dat merken jullie vanzelf wel. Ik ben nu gelukkig wel hoorbaar. Gelukkig hebben we een live viewer die dat even kenbaar heeft gemaakt.
Ja, anders waren dat een mooi jacht gekomen.
Mooi, veel te laat doorgehad. Dus excuses daarvoor. Corona. Persconferentie hebben we net gehad.
Yes.
Wat ik net al vertelde is dat ik denk dat het goed is dat er wat versoepeling is. Er is eigenlijk, als je het vanaf de ene kant bekijkt, geen reden voor. Want er zijn nog steeds te veel nieuwe gevallen. Neemt niet echt af. Maar aan de andere kant is er economisch zoveel aan de hand. En om allerlei redenen is het denk ik wel goed om de versoepelingen te doen. Dus ik ben het er wel mee eens. Waar moet je dan beginnen? Ja, ik denk dat het vrij simpel is wat ze nu zeggen. Toch wat meer scholen open en contactberoepen, sporten. Om daarmee te beginnen. En dan maar te kijken hoe het verder loopt. Ik denk nog steeds dat het originele idee wel oké was. Maar het duurt gewoon veel langer als iedereen ooit verwacht had. En als je nu een jaar verder bent en je ziet dat de maatregelen wel helpen. Maar je moet op een gegeven moment gewoon de risico's maar nemen. Dus ik ben blij om dat te horen. Dat is voor Michelle op zich goed nieuws. Dat ze weer aan de slag kan binnen de schoonheidssalon begin maart.
Ja.
En wat mij betreft positief nieuws. En laten we hopen dat deze trend zich voort gaat zetten. En dat het een beetje los blijft staan van eventuele nieuwe coronagevallen. Omdat dat voorlopig toch wel door zal blijven gaan. Dus
denk ik ook.
Ik denk dat we er niet omheen kunnen dat het nieuws van de dag is vandaag.
Precies. Ja, en dank voor de update. Want ik had hem niet gezien in de persconferentie.
Ja, dus het blijft, alles. De klok blijft gehandhaafd. 1,5 meter. Al die dingen moeten gewoon in de gaten gehouden worden. Wat ik trouwens opvallend vond, is dat 1/4 van de mensen die positief getest zijn, toch nog ergens naartoe gaan. Dat hebben ze onderzocht.
Echt bizar.
Bizar hoog aantal. Maar goed, dat schijnt nou eenmaal zo te zijn. En we weten dat een heleboel mensen niet luisteren of niet voorzichtig zijn. Maar dit vind ik wel echt shocking. Dus, nou ja, goed, weet je, dat wetende moet je dan misschien ook verder het risico maar nemen en maar kijken wat er gebeurt. Dus dat was eigenlijk eventjes wat mij betreft het nieuws van de week. En laten we hopen dat het zich een beetje voortzet, deze trend. En dat we zo langzamerhand onze vrijheid weer terug gaan krijgen.
Yes. Ik ben ook enorm toe aan restaurantbezoeken. Ja. Het is echt... Maar goed, dat is helaas geen contactberoep.
Nee, dat ligt eraan. Ja, daar kan je misschien een contactberoep van te maken. Afspraak maken. In je eentje aan de bar. Ja, dat kan misschien kunnen. Nee, nou goed, ik denk dat de horeca voor de zomer ook alweer meer moet beginnen. Dus oké. Dus dat is mooi. Ik denk dat we even snel, daar wil ik ook niet te lang stilstaan, maar toch even, omdat we dat wekelijks doen, even een update gaan geven van mijn Toyota. Daar ga ik even de grote truc weer doen met de ROP. En dan gaan we die even... Oké. Nou. Ik zie trouwens dat Oscar een beetje in de weg zit. Die zet er gewoon even daar. Zo. Zit jouw referdoek, ja. Nou, vorige week was ik al wel een end en had ik het mannetje gedaan. En nou, ik heb dat mannetje nu in de auto zitten. En ik heb de binnenkant van de bekleding en de stoelen heb ik in principe klaar. Dus hij zit nu ergens in. Het dashboard, kijken of we dat kunnen laten zien. Het dashboard is redelijk, het is niet helemaal scherp zie ik, maar goed. Is redelijk klaar. Hij zit met zijn hand op de versnellingspook. Even kijken of we dat kunnen laten zien. Dat wordt wel redelijk. Dus dat begint er op zich wel aardig uit te laten zien. Verder nog wat details op de grond. Ook wat chroomdetails gemaakt. En weet je, dat gaat wel langzaam wel de goede kant op eigenlijk. En ik heb, en dat vond ik eigenlijk wel een rotklus. Ik heb de raampjes erin geplakt. Ik weet niet of we dat zo kunnen zien. Mm-hmm. Dat is natuurlijk altijd hetzelfde verhaal. Dat je daar zit je een week tegen op te hikken. Dan vervolgens ga je met alle voorzichtigheid er zo min mogelijk lijm en noem het maar op, ga je die raampjes erin doen en dan zijn toch die raampjes allemaal vies en vastgelijmd en zitten er vlekken op. Dat is nu eigenlijk goed gegaan. Ik begin het toch te leren op een of andere manier. Dan moet ik zeggen, dit waren ook allemaal losse raampjes. Dus dit was niet één zo'n
frame. Ja.
Maar dat is allemaal eigenlijk prima gelukt. En er komen nog wat decals op. Voor de randen van de ramen. Maar dat werkt eigenlijk al prima. En de grill zit erin. Dat is ook wel aardig gelukt. Dus ja, weet je. Dit begint... even kijken of ik nog even de goden kan verzoeken. Om dit er overheen te zetten. Nee, laat ik maar niet doen. Dat gaat te snel. Nou, dat is in ieder geval de...
Dus eenmaal
of alles breekt. Dit is dus de setup van de Toyota. En nou, weet je, op zich wel een leuk ding om te bouwen. Weinig problemen. En ja, wel leuk. Nu dat er allemaal op zit, dan details nog bumpertjes, dingetjes. Dan nog wel een beetje gepiel. Maar nou ja. Goed. Dat
ziet er goed uit.
Ja, daar ben ik wel op zich wel content mee. Het is best aardig. Goed. Dan zijn we dan toch aan het volgende punt gekomen. Vandaag hebben we een special guest. En daar zit een kleine geschiedenis aan. Ik ken Chris inmiddels al een paar jaar. Ik heb hem leren kennen via eigenlijk mijn werk voor Train Simulator. Dat doet hij ook. Chris Trains is van Chris. En ik heb met hem contact gekregen. En eigenlijk zijn we vrienden geworden. Puur omdat ik er niet uitkwam met een aantal dingen. En hij mij geholpen heeft om een aantal dingen uit te vinden. Dus we proberen af en toe elkaar een beetje te helpen. Maar het komt erop neer dat hij meestal mij helpt en niet andersom. Maar, en we zijn langzamerhand een beetje, hebben we meer contact gehad. Chris is af en toe ook in Nederland. Chris heeft in Nederland gewoond. En het is gewoon super leuk. En hij zag een aantal van onze uitzendingen. En heeft een beetje dezelfde interesses als dat wij hebben. En hij zegt, joh, is het niet leuk als ik wil ook wel een keertje meedoen. Ik zeg, nou, dat is fantastisch, want daar zitten we juist op te wachten. En ik denk dat we daar maar niet al te lang over moeten praten. En dat we Chris gewoon maar in de uitzending moeten halen. So let me see if I can technically get this all working. And set up a live connection to the United States. Where Chris should be waiting. Yes, he is. Let me just fiddle around the screens a little bit because they've changed. They've moved again, which is a horrible situation.
So actually, it's quite cool that we now have international guests from the US. So this is really exploding our stream, of course, after today.
Definitely cause to gain us many thousands of viewers.
More than 80.
Okay, let's get Chris in. Chris, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to our live stream, which will go viral now, obviously, because we have an international guest. It's great. I think you was able to see our program up until now, and it was so much fun to, we started this whole thing. First of all, because it was Corona, we couldn't do anything. We wanted to talk to each other, and we said, let's just do something, get a Skype call. And then we said, let's do like a podcast, because then we can talk about stuff, people can listen to it. Let's try and see the technical possibilities of that. So that grew into a vlog with modeling and everything that we like. And I think it's safe to say that Chris and I share a lot of the same interests. It's scary sometimes because it doesn't matter if I think of something that I did when I was young or that I think this is cool. There is
too much information.
Yeah, we haven't really discussed that, and I don't think we will. But the response normally is like, "Oh, I have one of those," or "Oh, I was there," or "Oh, I've been there," or it's always really cool. So. It's just very nice to have Chris with us and just talk about whatever we want to talk about. And Chris, Chris does speak I think he understands Dutch pretty well. Maybe Chris, you can talk a little bit about your experience with the Dutch and how you came about the
with the Dutch when I lived there.
That's always good. Yeah.
Yeah, I lived there. I grew up in Holland from basically 1-year-old to 18 years old. So I went to an international school and I learned English in the international school, and I learned all my Dutch outside of school because there wasn't a Dutch class in the school.
Really?
So that meant I started off by learning how to swear.
Yeah.
Then I learned all the various types of drink. Then I learned by reading the subtitles on American programs, watching them on Dutch TV. So.
Okay, that's.
And again, the mistakes and big Nederlands.
We understood that perfectly. I know when we meet over here, sometimes he talks Dutch and it's actually pretty good. But I think for the sake of this stream, it's better to just switch to English because that makes it probably a little bit easier. Although we might put some Dutch in between. I mean, we can always do that. I'm just looking to the chat, and somebody said that my voice was a little bit soft. I've tried to raise that a little bit, but that's a technical thing. Okay.
I'm
soft anyway. I've been soft in my life, so nothing new there.
It's becoming worse the older you get.
That's no problem. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
So Chris, where are you located in the US?
I'm in Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake.
Niet zoeken meer, maar zelf niet. So it's the home of the Mormon Empire. I am not Mormon.
No.
It's about the least diverse part of the country you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything is white. It is so white, it's unbelievable.
Okay.
But it's really nice. It's really nice scenery, really nice people. Taxes aren't too bad. Property's nice. It's a good place to live.
Okay, cool.
Our coronavirus numbers are going down.
That's good.
That's always good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been there for holidays, 2 days or something. So it was just a quick visit. Really nice city, and we went up into the mountains where the Olympic Games have been held. So and shopping, of course, etc. But very nice city.
The ski resorts are all 20 to 30 minutes from where I live, because I live right next to the side of one of the motorways, so I can just hop on the motorway and go up to the ski resorts really easily.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I keep inviting Paul, they've not managed to come over yet, and then coronavirus meant we couldn't have anybody come over. So, he keeps threatening to come see me.
Well, then you get me as well.
Okay. We can definitely arrange that. Well, that's actually a fun story. Or fun. It's not fun at all, really, but it's an interesting story. Is it an enorme echo in? Oh, we've got an echo. We've got a technical issue, which I don't know really how to. Maybe this will solve it, if we can still hear everyone. Yeah, I think so. Anyway,
still hear you.
I think it's that NDE problem. We had that before. The echo should now be gone, and we'll probably see that in the chat. Oh, anyway.
Yeah, the internet
will tell us. Yeah. I think it should be gone now. We were talking about that. Go over there, and then he thought maybe we can do join like business and fun together, and go over there to do some work and also do some fun. And we were planning that, and then the whole Corona thing happened. So the flights were cancelled. Trump said nobody comes in from Europe, or nobody comes in the country, and so that had to be cancelled. And then on the actual day that I should fly, or just the day before, there was an earthquake and the whole airport was shut down anyway. So it was just... It was.
We had earthquakes last year. We had hurricanes. It was not a good year.
No, definitely not. So we are still trying to arrange that, and
the earthquake was really strange because I'm underground at the moment. The ground level is sort of up here somewhere, so I'm mostly underground here. And I was sitting downstairs, and I have in my family room I have a big screen with a projector. And when the earthquake hit, the picture and the screen started to do this. I'm like, what the hell is that? And then my wife shouted down. She goes, "Is that an earthquake?"
Okay.
And then so after it finished shaking, we sort of waited for about half an hour, and I thought, okay, it seems like it's fairly safe. So I got in the car and drove up to the office to go to work, and then we had an aftershock while I was at the office. And then we had another aftershock when I went to the dentist. So I had the dentist have my mouth open with a drill. And we had another aftershock. I'm like, okay, we should just stop today.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So we don't have.
I can't recommend earthquakes.
No, we don't have earthquakes normally here, luckily. So that's good. Only sometimes up the north where they get the gas out of the ground and everything will sort of. Anyway. Let's okay, echo's gone, so we fixed that too. So sorry for that, that first part of the stream. We're going crazy probably. Anyway, let's go to our next subject, and hopefully we can get that technically done, which is Oscar's new purchase. He purchased, I don't know if you've seen it, Chris, he purchased a small crawler RC car. Yeah. And he has he's made a little, that's the one. He's made a little video about how it drives. So what I'm going to try and do now is show that video. And hopefully
gives a nice insight on what I like. So there are some Budweiser bottles of beer. Of course, a remote control. So I like to watch telly. Well, you see some RC cars.
Cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And some books, and the wooden box is a wine.
A wine box. Okay, so this is a view into your daily life. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like or try to do it like this with daily objects, and I'm crawling on my wild wheelie.
We'll come to that later.
Very good.
Yeah, so this is great. Okay, so you're actually crawling over the whole. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and it's just on my dining table.
Yeah.
It's quite funny.
That's cool. So, okay, and now you just jump up. You do a 25-point turn. Yeah.
Yeah, this was a bit more work than expected. Just turn it around, but he did it. Cool. So without going down, it's quite cool. But you can drive quite slow with it, but it starts 9 out of 10 times too fast, I would say. So if you give a bit of throttle pressure on the throttle, it starts moving quite quickly.
Yeah.
But at the end, you can drive it.
It seems to be pretty proportional, but the first from 0 to go is a little bit step. Let's do that.
So it's this was the short movie of my first.
Right.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Let's come back here. We're back here. Yeah. Okay, but it's cool. The cool thing about it is that it's pretty cheap. Maybe not the right word, but it's not expensive. Let's call it like that. And it's you can do it inside on your dinner table. You can drive over anything you want. Did you drive over your wife yet?
No. That's still in the making.
Yeah, we'll see that video next week. Yeah, that's yeah, that's cool. No, anyway, it's great to see, and hopefully this wasn't the last time that you run it, because that's one of the problems if you buy stuff like that you never get the chance to drive it. But which is a good thing with all my old cars. And I saw that Chris was coming with one of his Tamiya cars too. I saw that in the there he is, the Wild Willy. Is that an original one from back in the 80s?
No, this is one of
that's the or.
So it's the one that had the pre-assembled gearbox underneath, so you didn't get a chance to build that.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
But, I've driven this a few times, so...
Cool. Yeah, I know, back in the 80s when I was starting with Tamiya cars, that was one of the possibilities. And you could do wheelies with it, and it's great. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got... Yeah, so. Cool stuff. Yeah, I'm actually repurposing all the cars because my son Giorgio is now starting to sort of like that, and I'm just getting all these cars back and ready again to be running and fixing them. Obviously he crashes a lot, so that's a lot of work to get that done. And all these Tamiya standard like default speed controllers, they're fine, but if they get wet or moist, they will just go. And I've gone through about 5 of them over the last 2 years. So now I bought 2 more, waterproof, more good controller.
So what you were saying before about when you used to say something and I'd say something, and it turns out we had a lot in common. When I lived in Holland, I used to buy all my radio controlled stuff from.
Quartel.
Yeah.
That's just fun.
So that was where I got all my radio controlled cars from, my boats and everything. That's
the same what we did. Cool. Back then, that was really the only shop in the neighborhood of Rotterdam and The Hague that sold that. That was probably the biggest in Holland, and it was actually in Oscar's hometown. He lived in Pijnack, and I'm pretty sure Oscar's dad worked there for some time. He helped them out behind the counter, I think. So it's really cool. And it was I've been there a lot because that was the only place to go to. There was no internet, there was nothing, so you just go there and do that. And the cost, it was what it was, so there was no real shopping around for anything. But it's...
Do you remember that catalog?
Yeah.
The big thick catalog that they publish twice a year.
Yeah. That's so cool. And I see they are still there. I think they're still alive, but they're online. They're not really very good. They have a really bad website and stuff. So I don't know what's been going on. And the problem is right now everybody's buying online and Hobby King and all that. So it's probably not as good a business as it was before. And what they had is they had this shopping window. Because they moved out of the town center to a little bit more outside town, and they have these big windows, and they put all these boxes there, but they're there for years, and they're all white. They're all faded. And they're still the same price. So you'll buy a $600 Tamiya car with a really faded box, and probably the plastics inside have been too hot. It's just a little bit. Not there anymore, but it's so funny to hear that you were there too. We're actually thinking about it. We there is a big chance that we might have met back then, but we just didn't know.
Yeah.
Because all these things, Kwartel, Marathon, Kijk Duik, all these things. Chris was really into Italo, so Radio Stad Den Haag, and so I come up with the most. Obscure Italo hit, and then Chris says, "Oh yeah, I know that one. I've got it too. I bought it."
I know that one.
It's really cool.
That's because we're both of a certain age now.
Yeah. So that's really been cool. But what also is fun is that we had so much things that we thought we would be able to talk about in this episode. And there are millions of things. But just to start with something, I think it might be a good idea to go through some of the Lego kits that Chris has. I mean, we've shown our Lego kits over the last episodes. And Chris has a lot of kits too. And I think it might be nice to just take us through the kits you've got and what you think of them. Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
You've got to be effing kidding me.
So this was the newer kit. The newer, smaller kit came out about 4 years ago. So this one's pretty good. You can at least carry it. The new one is so big you can't even carry it. But this one, the way they built it, all of these pieces at the back open up.
Yeah.
And then once the back's opened up, you can see.
Cool.
That is really, really good. It's just like playable, you know. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one of my Star Wars kits. Let's see. I have this one, which is kind of cool, from Rogue One.
Oh, great.
And it has the wings.
Oh, there you really fold. Okay, yeah, you can. Yeah, if you.
So you can fold the wings back like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's kind of a nice one. That's kind of a big kit as well. Once the wings are folded out, you can see it's kind of a large.
Yeah.
Large kit. So that one's. That was kind of interesting. So that's my Star Wars.
Cool.
Then I have something a little more serious.
Even more serious? Oh, wow, that's that is serious. And you can just hold it by the roof without it falling off. That's cool.
Yeah, they actually built this one's design, so there's a load-bearing thing in the back here, so you can lift it.
Okay, so how? I mean, does that have like an old transmission and all that? I mean, has that got the whole transmission thing going on? Oh yeah.
If you can see inside here, it actually has the toggle transmission of the real car, so you can pull these up and down and it changes gear.
Okay.
So you can see here, there's like a little elastic band here that's the spring mechanism for the gearbox. But then, like the Land Rover, the gearbox is all hidden underneath.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's really great how they did that.
But yeah, that's pretty cool, that one. And then it's got the steerable wheels and everything.
Yeah. That one, I think that one is one of the best because it looks pretty good. Proportionally it looks good, I think. And also, it's sturdy. It fits together well, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
And
it's the color. Yeah, it's orange.
That's always a plus. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, that's a good one too. And you've got the transmission. Everything. It's great. I've been thinking about getting that one too. Then we get to the whole discussion: should I get the original one or not? I want the original one, but is there an option, for AliExpress one? And that might be. I mean, it's an interesting car. I maybe I'll get it one time.
So it's
cool. It is really cool.
It's a good kit. And then I have this one's also kind of nice. I really like this one.
Oh,
it's the Lunar.
That is so cool. That one looks great too.
Yeah.
With all the gold stuff on it, and it looks amazing. Really cool.
It's bigger than I thought. I've seen it quite some times on the Lego site, and
it's pretty big.
Yeah,
it is.
But it's a nice kit. It goes together really well.
Okay.
And it's the only Lego kit I've ever had that had a mistake in the handbook.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I've never seen that.
So there was, in the handbook, and these two little pieces here, these little diagonal pieces on the front.
Yeah.
In the handbook, it shows them going on the other way up.
Okay.
So it says that these two pieces here should be the other way up, but this is the way they should be.
Okay.
So the box shows it correctly, and the model shows it correctly, but the handbook has them upside down.
Okay. Okay. That's funny. Yeah, we've talked about that I never miss pieces or have any problems with Lego sets. It's amazing how they always... And when you think you miss a piece, it's always your own fault. You just misplaced it, or it's stuck to something else. So, that's cool too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this will not fit in the camera.
No. Definitely not. No.
So that's now standing on the floor.
That's it's a meter high or something. It's
pretty tall, and it comes apart in all the different pieces, so you can separate all the different stages. Okay. Have you seen any of this at all?
No. Well, I've looked at it because I wanted one, but I've never actually seen the real one.
So it comes apart, and then there's detail.
Oh wow!
In there,
yeah. That's pretty good. Okay, you've got.
So each of the individual stages comes apart, and then I have to know how to get it back together again. But, let's see, there's clips. So they use the old hinge mechanism, the Lego hinge mechanism.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So like the mechanism you used to use to do a hinged door. Part of that's on there, and then the other part's on the bottom of here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just click it.
Yeah, they just use that to clip the two parts together again. Ooh. And then you push it, and it's now holds it back together again.
Great stuff. Oh yeah, that's
so. But yeah, this is another really nice kit. This one, there was some. It was launched in 1969, so the Lego kit has 1,969 pieces.
Yeah, that's such a great detail. How did let's make things a little bit more difficult, you know?
Yes.
That's crazy, unbelievable. Oh yeah, that's just seeing that thing reminds me that I wanted one. They have an umbilical tower for it too. Like a mock.
Yeah.
It's not an original set, but it's a mock. Oh, that's the same one I have. I have exactly the same one. Yeah, that one's cool too.
Yeah, but does yours have the special feature?
Oh. No, definitely not. No, I don't have that feature. No, it's cool. It's cool. What I like and also sort of hate a little bit about that one is that there are handles with sort of transmission boxes for all the movements, and you really have to think about the combination of handles. So I mean, you've got two sides, and you've got two handles on each side, and when you push, and when all the handles are out, it turns. And when one of the handles is in, the boom goes up and down. And when two handles on that side go in and the other two are out, the hook goes down. You never know exactly what you're doing. You're just winging it. Put power on it and see that that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
But still.
You were talking about this last week or the week before about having the kits that are not Lego, like the Chinese kits. So I have. This might be an interesting comparison. Because I have the actual Lego Land Rover, and you have the not Lego Land Rover.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't see a lot of difference between them.
Oscar can get his one. I have to say that they look identical. They do look identical. Which, if they use the exact same bricks, is what they're doing. But does your original one have the problem with the weak part with the doors? So if you want to open and close the doors, it's sort of wobbly, because mine is really bad. No, that's much better.
I can literally lift the whole car up and down.
Yeah, no, mine is terrible. But I've got a slightly different one from Oscar. There is a difference between Oscar has more exactly the one that you've got. And I've got one that's slightly different. That's got an extra bull bar and some other stuff, but it's pretty weak at the door joints.
Okay.
So that's it doesn't it's not a huge problem, but I saw that it's different from that one. What I found, and we as you said, we discussed it. I would actually like the original Lego for all the reasons. It's original. Lego has thought about it. Lego has the history. So normally I would buy Lego. But if you look at prices, sometimes it's just pretty crazy what the prices are.
Yeah, they are pretty crazy.
And then you start thinking, should I do this? Should I not? And then you think, no, I'm not gonna. I don't have the money to do that. But there's an option that's half the cost or even less. And if it's the same like building fun, what are you gonna do? So and then I think Eric, one of our other Grindelwald bastards, who actually has a life and a career, so he can never join us. He started getting some stuff from Ali and building that, and it was actually pretty good. So that sort of thing. Okay, maybe you should do it. And then he had that Land Rover. And then Oscar and myself have a birthday roughly at the same in October, roughly the same week. And I said, I'll give you a Land Rover for your birthday, as long as you give me one. And so we did it. But then we ended up having two slightly different versions, because the one I sent to Oscar was sold out or whatever. So there was a slight difference in the two. But yeah, so that's what we started. And now Eric is getting more and more stuff over and just building. It's the building fun. Normally, but then you've got the Saturn V rocket with the mock umbilical, and you can get all that for cheaper than the original Lego one, but it's still a couple of hundreds of euros. It may be
if you want to make it really expensive, what you do is you buy the build instructions for the umbilical tower, and then you go to the Lego site and you handpick all the pieces. Then you can be up to 2,000 euros just in pieces.
I know. Yeah.
So, it's an expensive way of building.
I know, and a lot of people do it anyway, because I see a lot of mock building and they just order bricks. Yeah. And I thought that maybe a couple of years ago, I found out that there was a site, I think it was Bricklink or something else, and you could just get a list of parts that you need. You upload that as an XML file or whatever, and they would then process it, and they would look throughout all their suppliers who has the right stones, and they come up with a list and the stores where you can get it and a total, which is pretty expensive. But I thought that was pretty nice, that you could do stuff like that and also get the drawings.
Yeah, so you don't have to search for it all yourself.
Yeah. And it doesn't seem to be working anymore. At least I couldn't find a way of doing that, because sometimes there are these Lego sites that make mocks. They actually produce them and build and sell the drawings for them. So you buy for 25 euros or something. You buy a really nice kit. They had the Fortnite bus with the balloon on top, which really looked great. And I thought, that's fun. And you buy their drawing for 20 or 25 euros. But then you have to get. Or you have the bricks yourselves, or you get them. You get the parts, and that's what makes it crazy expensive. Because 1,000 euros, 1,500 euros is nothing if you go there.
So I have some smaller Legos as well. I just realised this one was kind of a fun one. It was Ray's speeder bike.
Oh yeah, that one looks good too.
So that's only half an hour to build, but it's kind of a fun little vehicle to have. So,
and it still is amazing to me how they can capture the feel of the thing while it's being so rough. It's just rough building, because you can't do anything with Legos, and especially in that scale. But you still exactly know, the proportions are right.
Yeah, you know exactly what it is.
That's so fun. That was, I don't know if you've seen that episode where I showed the little Grogu, the child from the Mandalorian figure.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much detail there is. It's more sculpting, obviously, but it looks really, really good, and it has that expression, which is difficult to do. But it just it's just right, you know, and that's why I think, you know, Lego takes obviously they earn money with it, which is fine because they do all the work and they make it like that quality, and then for another company to just rip that drawing and then throw some cheap bricks in and then buy it feels a little bit wrong to me, but it doesn't.
You said last week about the Chinese factories, about how they might be making the exact same bricks out of the exact same material for Lego as they are for everyone else.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think might be true, because there's a German guy, Held der Steine. He has a little Lego store in Germany, in Frankfurt, and he does a lot of YouTubes. And he had I think it's Katana, one of the Ferraris, and it's really, really great. But they had a part with the doors, the same red part, and they had both the same discoloration, and it was like it's exactly the same part. It's the same factory. It's the same, you know. So I think it's true. I think the quality is the same for a lot of parts. So then, you know, what are you going to do, you know? And I think Lego is now doing all kinds of lawsuits for people that try to rip off and everything. I don't know, you know, you're not going to stop it at this point.
Well, it becomes a weird moral decision in the end. The question is, do you want Lego to survive? Do you want to save up and spend the money on them? Or do you want to buy from their competition and then Lego will disappear?
Yeah. No, you don't want that too. So there's got to be some sort of balance in it, and that's why, you know, I will keep buying the original Lego when I can. But I'm not saying that I won't buy anything else anyway. But it's cool and it's nice. You have a nice collection. I had Diagon Alley for my birthday, which is like great to build. You know, it's like huge, and it doesn't fit on the camera here. Maybe I'll do it house by house, but then the interiors and all the little details, the little the boxes for the wands, and you know, it's so much fun to build. And it should be fun to play with too. But Giorgio's doing a little bit with his train, and we do that. But he likes the AT-AT more, so he he likes to play with the shooting stuff.
I get a lot of enjoyment out of the actual build. Yeah. So when I get something like the Saturn V, you know, I deliberately took 2 weeks to build that. I do just, you know, a couple of pages every night because it's interesting to see how they make square bricks with round pegs. Something that looks like that.
Oh yeah, same to me. But it's almost like it can become a little bit stressful because you buy this kit, really great kit, a lot of money, and you start building. And it's so much fun that you want to just go on and build it in a couple of hours. But then you lose that. So but that's one way of doing it. And then you think, shit, it's ready, you know. But on the other hand, if you just do a page every night, you stretch that experience a little bit, and but then you have to start every time. So I never do it. Diagon Alley was, you know, I built one of the houses in 1 or 2 days, and it just went on and on and on because it was so much fun to build. You just can't stop. And
well, I find it's weird that you can actually learn from some of this as well. Like when you put the gearbox together for the Porsche and for the Land Rover. You know, it's when you see all the pieces moving together, you start to understand, okay, this is how a sequential gearbox really works. How a double clutch gearbox works. So even though it's just made of Lego, the fact that you can see it in principle working in front of you.
That's good.
You know, it's kind of interesting to learn. It's a lot cheaper than trying to get a real Porsche.
Obviously, Obviously, yeah. It's, well, you know, Lego Technic was just invented when I was, I don't know, 40 years old or something, and I had one of their first kits. I think
I had the go-kart.
Yeah, go-kart. Oscar had the go-kart. He's got it there, I think.
Wait.
With the black seat. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah, that was the very first Lego Technic I had.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. And I just rebuilt it during Christmas.
That's where I learned about rack and pinion steering. That's where I learned how the steering mechanism on a car works.
Yeah.
That was what I was going to say. You know, I learned so much about engineering, and I started building stuff myself. You know, and then you find out that gears are all fine, but there's a limit to what you can do, and you have to do extra steps, and you know about forces and momentum and all that. It's really cool. Actually, I don't know if I've told that story. If I did, I'm sorry. I'll tell it again. I worked as an internship from a technical school at Philips. And that was the factory where they built the Charlie video motor for the VHS video recorders. It was not V2000 anymore. I think they switched to VHS. And that was, I worked there at their, what do you call it? Their business, their production tool development. They had a lot of special made tools for doing the job. And I was there, and they needed a device to put a ring of glue inside the rotor, and then where they put the magnet in. And it was like an outrunner, that motor. So it had a fixed stator, and then the rotor turned around it. And I needed a device for that. So they asked me to draw that up and think about what I could do. So I went home. I took my Technic Lego, and I built the whole thing with a marker and a piece of paper, and did that. And I brought the whole thing to Philips, and one of my mentors there, he was just like, "Wow, we've never seen anything like this before. This is just great, And it went through all the factory, and I had to go to the director with him, the boss of that whole facility, because he wanted to show how cool it was what I had done. And I mean, for me, it was more fun than trying to get all the fuss about it. But people were just ecstatic about that, and it was so much fun to do that because you can just try and see how it works, and have the concept there in Lego, and then they could build it. In the end, they built something completely different because they had an old part which worked fine. But anyway, it was just that feeling of being able to create stuff and to make technical things work, which really, which I really enjoyed. And I built, I only had 6 wheels, so I built a truck with double front wheels and a single back wheel because I didn't have any more. But just getting those wheels to steer in different angles because the front ones go in another angle than the ones behind because there'll be friction if you don't do that. I never thought about that. At the beginning, I had them the same, and it didn't work because there was friction all over. And I thought, oh, wait a minute. And then I've invented it so that... And that was so much fun to do. So technical Lego Technics is still great to do too.
I had a similar experience when my main job is doing flight simulators for the commercial airlines. So I have to do 3D graphics of different aircraft types. And one of the things I had to do a few years ago was I had to animate the flaps on the back of the wings of an airplane. And I built the flaps out of Lego first to see how all of the different pivots and pieces moved so that I knew how I could build it in 3D. Yeah. So that's, same sort of thing. Lego, Yeah. I don't care if people know that I play with Lego. I play with Lego. So
it's the new cool. There was a time, when we were kids, you play with Lego. Then I played with Lego and everybody thought that was childish or stupid. And now, you see famous people building the Taj Mahal or whatever because they just like building Lego. So it's now become a whole new thing, I think. So it's...
Do you ever have Fisher Technic?
Oh, no. I had one box of it because somebody gave it to me, but I never really had a lot of that. Did you have that, Oscar? No.
No.
Did you, Chris? Did you have Fisher Technic?
Yeah, I had a few boxes of Fisher Technic, and I managed to somehow bastardize my Fisher Technic with my Lego.
Oh, okay.
so I had Lego things built around the outside of Fisher Technic.
Okay. That's
because Fisher Technic was really strong. So if I needed to make something out of Lego that had some strength to it, I'd build the internal parts out of Fisher Technic and then build the Lego around the outside.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like something I could have done, but what I actually did do is I had an Atari 800 XL home computer, and almost nobody had one of those. Probably Chris did, but and it was one of these, and there was a tape drive, but I didn't have that yet. So you just type in your code, and you have to leave it on. you can't switch it off because all your code would be gone. So that was terrible. Anyway, then I got this little tape like data recorder, and that worked like sometimes if you were lucky, and you had to find the start of the code and anything. It was really, really cumbersome. But what I thought is, wouldn't it be great to build a security system, an alarm system for my room? And I used Fisher-Price contacts, read contacts for that. And I used I bought a very cheap like controller, because I could read from the controller. I could use as an input, and I could read like the buttons. And I could pick that up in my code. So I had long wires to the Fisher-Price contacts, and then I put that into the computer, and I coded it with a drawing. And then if my window went open, you saw a little window going open. And I think I spent 2 weeks building that, with the stress that you would have a power outage or something when everything would be, that's just crazy. Or that your mom would come and say, "Oh, you left the computer on again," bleep. That would be terrible. But that didn't happen. But it took me about 2 weeks to do that. And then you've got it working. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, that was it then. Bloop. Because it's just, the fun is in getting it work. With the work we're doing now, Chris, that's most of the fun, really, and stress and frustration, but it's always like the puzzle of getting things to work, which I like, which you can do with Lego if you build your own like mocks. It's that's just great. Anyway, I think this has been great. It's almost 9 o'clock, so we should probably sort of round off. I'm sorry about the technical problems at the start. Luckily, we were people noticed it. I will see if I can do something on YouTube to sort of cut that off or whatever. I'll see what I can do. But for now, first of all, I would like to thank Chris for joining. I thought it was it was really fun, and please, you're welcome anytime to join. Just talk about.
Just WhatsApp when you do it.
Sorry.
Just send me a WhatsApp when you want to include me.
Definitely, no problem. Let's just do that, and for the rest, I would like to join the live viewers. We don't have a lot yet, but that will probably change after this episode, and then we'll and I'll put it on YouTube, and I'll send you the link. So so again, thanks a lot. We'll talk, but I'll hope to see you on the stream soon. And for definitely. I will stop the stream, but we can still stay online amongst each other. We can talk for another hour or so. But thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.